What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What is up, you guys? Happy, blessed Wednesday to you guys. Happy, blessed Wednesday to you, YouTube. I wanted to get on here. I really had not. It's been a mixture between busy and peaceful today. And so I can't say I've just been super duper busy. I have been somewhat busy, but not as busy as I've been before, or previous days, other days. And so our declaration, I wanted to get on here to release this word that God gave me, and let that be it, and get on and get off of here. I'm just now making it home from the gym. What's up, Kanima? And it is cold here. It is rainy here. It is, I don't know about y'all, but like when it's gloomy outside, it makes you want to sleep. Oftentimes those gloomy days can also affect your mood sometimes. It can make you a little bit, it can bring on a sense of melancholy, if that makes sense. And so today has kind of been one of those days for me. And so I wanted to release this word that God gave me. And so our declaration, for those of y'all that are catching this, is your process made you who you are today. Spit it out now. Spit it out. No. Hold on, y'all. No. No. Do you understand? No. Move back. Here, Bo. All right, y'all. Yeah, it is. It's not like freezing cold, Kanima, like see your breath type of cold, but it is a little bit cold. It absolutely is. It's like that. You need a jacket. You need something on your head, especially me working out. And so it's been like that for the past few days, and I believe it's going to be like that, and then it's going to be raining some more this week. And so that's just kind of what it is. And so again, our declaration, hey, Mrs. Welker, is your process made you who you are today. I don't know if y'all have ever had a moment where you think about some of your past experiences, things that you've been through, and you get down about it. You get sad about it. Anybody ever been there? Has anyone ever had that moment where you think about something that was really, really hard for you to go through, and you kind of get sad all over again? So I had a moment this afternoon, as I was leaving the gym, and it was a moment that it almost made me draw some tears. And it started last night. I had a dream of Bella. I had a dream of Bella, and she's just been on my heart a lot lately. That was a hit that I'm not gonna say I'll never get over it, but it's one of those hits that I will probably always remember, more so than any of the other things that I've gone through. That was one major thing that I will forever remember, and how traumatic that experience was. And so I had a moment, hey, Miss Allen, as I was driving back from the gym, and I just got sad about it, and I was talking to God, and I was like, Lord, I'm so grateful for Mr. Bo. I'm so grateful for my other dogs. I am so very grateful for them. But I was telling God, my heart still gets sad about that situation, and the Lord responded to me, and he said, because I was asking him, why is this coming up again? My dog, that was something that was major, and it seemed like it was random, me dreaming about her. And then just those memories, especially the memories before, I had to put her down. It was a lot. And so I was asking God about it. And I said, Lord, what is this about? And the Lord told me this. He said, even though it was painful, it aided in who you are today. Yeah. I'm going to say it again. Even though that loss was painful, it added to who you are today, meaning it made you better in some way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of times, it's real easy to get into that mindset where you're thinking about all the things you've had to sacrifice, all the things you've had to surrender, all the things you have lost in your own process, all the things, you've had to go through in your own process. It is very easy to get into a place where you look at those things and you get sad. And I know a lot of people really don't talk about this aspect of it. Like, even when a season is changed, depending on how hard a hit was, there are some things that, like, sometimes you look at and you get sad, even though you're grateful for what God has done, like, in your present moment. Sometimes you can still, like, wonder, like, I wonder what life would be like if this hit never happened, if this traumatic experience never happened, or whatever the case may be. But God told me, as I was asking him, like, because I was really about to cry, and I'm kind of still holding back tears. I miss Bella, and I know some of y'all may be like, it's just a dog. Like, that dog meant a lot to me. Like, I miss her. I miss her energy, the spunk, and all, even though Bo got enough spunk for everybody. And I had a moment where I was just sad about it all over again, just sad about it. And God's response to me was, even though it hurt you, it made you who you are today. It prepared you. It elevated you to some degree. It brought out a strength, and this is for everybody. It brought out a strength that, you didn't know you had. Because we can be real. Sometimes when we go through tough things, like, it does show us how strong we are. We be feeling like, I'm not that strong. And then, boom, we make it through something that we thought like we would never make it through. I pray that I'm making sense. Or even in moments where, the process teaches us about new experiences. It expands our horizon. A lot of times we don't look at the process from that aspect of, like, what it really taught us. And I don't know who else needed to hear this on today. But one, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace in those moments where you look at certain things that, like, you've had to surrender, certain things you lost, certain things that allow yourself to feel whatever that emotion is so that you can get the revelation that God has for you to get. But at the same time, what God is saying is, don't linger in that space. Don't linger in that space of being sad about what's gone, what's past, what you've had to go through. But glean from it in those moments how it helped you, how it bettered you in some way, shape, or form. And I was telling God, because that thing with Bella, it taught me so much. And I don't know why God has me talking about this, but that situation taught me a lot. It taught me about how strong I was. It corrected me, because at some point Bella had become a God where she was more important than what God was saying, to me about that situation. And so those are things that, like, I can admit, to in that process. It taught me how to give myself grace. But more so, it showed me God's love. God was so gentle with me during those times. And even in moments where I think about her, where I reminisce about her, God still gives me grace to keep going. And so I say all of that to say those moments, they're normal. There are some things, I can remember, for instance, when I lost my vehicle, the first vehicle, back in 2017, like the years following that, before I got into that Audi and before I got into the vehicle I have now, when I was driving that super old vehicle, and it was super old. I ain't talking bad about it. It was a super old vehicle. That vehicle is 23 years old, for real. But I can remember, like, when I lost that vehicle, I felt like a lot of me had been lost with that vehicle. It was like my safety net in that season. And I can remember, the years, when I was driving that 23-year-old vehicle, and there would be moments where, like, I would get sad. There would be moments where I would think about, moments where I could have avoided it and different things like that. Like, there were moments where I legitimately thought about it. And sometimes I would grieve. Sometimes I would Capone spit it out. Sometimes I would beat myself down. I pray that like I'm making sense. Like, sometimes I would beat myself down. Like, there was an instance, and I didn't know any better, where I think we had hell. And so, of course, the insurance company cut a check, and I put that towards my car note. So I could have, had I been paying on that car note that year, that payment covered that entire year, Like I would have never been in a position where, so it was different things like that I would think about, and I would just wonder. And sometimes I would grieve because it felt like I lost so much and now I'm struggling. Like I lost that, and look at what I'm driving now, God. Look at my situation now. Look at what that loss did to my life. Needless to say, what I didn't know is that God had something better that was on the way. Little did I know that situation taught me a little bit about stewardship. It's our processes teach us a lot. I pray that I'm making sense. And so I believe that, even today for a lot of people, this is a time for us to reflect not on what we lost, but on what those things taught us, what the situation taught us, what the circumstances have taught us, not just about us, but what has it taught you about God, right? And I think that these moments are needed, and that, these moments are needed, and they help us, get to a place where we can keep going. These moments, keep us in what I call in check to a certain degree, where we don't grow bitter or ungrateful during our process. Everybody needs a remember when moment. Capone, no. Everybody needs one of those moments where you can just sit and think about, okay, yes, that hurt me, but what did it teach me? It's like when my father passed away and my uncle passed away when I was 14. Well, I was 13. I turned 14 that year. In the beginning phases of it, I didn't want to understand. I just knew that I was really grieving, that it was a lot on me. I was angry at God. But then it got to a point one day when I was living in Texas. I will never forget this day. And I was, sitting in my bedroom. I had an air mattress. And at night, I would let my window up, because in Texas at night, for some reason back then, it felt really, really pleasant. It felt really, really good compared to 130-degree weather during the day, or heat indexes during the day. And this one particular night, it's like God showed me, even though those things hurt me, losing them hurt me, it really shaped me into who I was at that time. And so I keep all of those things into perspective, because the Bible does tell us that he works all things out for our good. A lot of times we look at that phrase as something meaning he works it out for my good in a tangible way, which he does. But what did it do to you internally? How about the moments where he works something out for your good, internally? Whether it's him teaching you how to trust him, whether it's giving you wisdom that you need, whether it is, teaching you boundaries, whether it's teaching you different things with how to be strong, whatever the case may be. Glean from those moments, because when you really look at those moments, it really makes you appreciate God. It makes you appreciate all that he's done, the grace that he gives us in rough moments, how he carries us through the storm in itself. And so that was what that was what I want to show y'all him. That was what God gave me, the revelation that that God gave me. Yeah, let me show y'all this little boy. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can see him. Can y'all see him? Do y'all see him? He is having the time of his life. Time of his life. He ain't messing with nobody, ain't playing with nobody. He didn't roll from one side of the room to the other side of the room. Just having the time of his life. And so that's kind of been what today has been like for me, just reflecting, allowing myself to gain understanding and find the silver lining in even the most painful of painful situations. Y'all, he having the time of his life. He does bring so much joy. He reminds me a lot of Bella. I will say that God must have known I needed a spunky dog. Capone is just sweet. He's just as sweet as he can be. Sweetie just as sweet as she can be. She's calm for the most part and docile. But Mr. Bo, he just... It's like God knew that I needed a dog like Bella. She was that dog, that was just spunky. She was just wild. She was definitely wild. And so that's kind of been what my day has been like. And so he wanted me to release that to those of you guys that needed to hear that. I pray that you were able to glean what you needed from me, just sharing my experiences and sharing that revelation. Y'all, he know he a little cutie pie. He know he a little cutie pie. He knows it. He's something else though, y'all. He is he's something else. He has this thing when I come in the house where when I let him out, it has to be mama and bow time. Like, he gonna pounce on me, he gonna get his love in. He be so happy. It don't matter if I just walked out the house for 10-15 minutes. If I open that cage, y'all, he is gonna go crazy. He is gonna go crazy. And so to God be the glory, Visha. To God be the glory. And so that is it for right now. I literally just got back from the gym. But that is it for now. To those of y'all that feel led to sow, you can. If you don't feel led to sow, that is fine as well. But yeah, that's it. And so until next time, y'all. Peace.